Yeah, so we're looking at gold, and we've marked our high here. This is an area we are interested in selling from. And then this is our potential low. That is an area in which we are interested in buying from. So you want to buy low and sell high. But these are the patterns we want to trade. When the market reaches this high and then gives us a double top or a head and shoulders, that's when we can sell high and then bring us down to these lows here, especially this demand area here. So from here, when we see either support or a head and shoulders, that's when we can also buy. So this helps us to buy low and then sell high, just a basic market principle. So once we have that, all we have to do is to be patient. Yes. So while we are patient and waiting for this trade to play out, because it will take weeks or some few days, I've been thinking about AI, artificial intelligence, the thread of it, the evolution of it, and then also the potential solution that has been suggested for AI, which is the Neuralink. So when we talk about AI, we need to understand one thing. We need to go back to 1950s when Alan Turing, who is known to be the godfather of AI, the early 1950s. So he came up with the development that has evolved into what we call artificial intelligence today. But there's one thing he had emphasized, which he called the Turing test. Now, in that test, he suggested that when we reach a time where we cannot differentiate between a computer and a human, then we have reached a stage where there is singularity. So if you study the history of AI from the 1950s, it was like the invention times. And then from 2000, the early 2000, that's when it went into the winter phase. And in the winter phase, now you move from Alan Turing to the winter phase. Who is the major phase during the winter time? So when you see during winter, you had Fei Li. This lady has actually been with AI during the winter time of AI when things were bad and people were forgetting what Alan Turing had put in place. And then today we have, of course, OpenAI, ChatGPT, Anthropic, Grok, and all of these other companies that have come after Alan and then after Fei Li. So you need to understand now the history of things. There is a quote by Robin Sharma where he says change is messy in the beginning, messy in the beginning, and then in the middle it is change is hard in the beginning, messy in the middle, and then gorgeous at the end. So if you look at the three phases of AI, in the beginning it was challenging when Alan Turing came, but then he said the default nature of AI is for them to be able to overcome humans. And then the winter, Fei Li comes, assembles all of these things here, plays a major role. And then now we are almost at the end part of it, which is gorgeous. That's when we have Anthropic, OpenAI, Grok, and all of these other things here. But now, if you look at AI clearly, it is actually a threat now because it is overtaking the jobs that humans were supposed to do, things to do with copywriting, even teaching, making videos, video editing, and all of those other things that AI is seemingly to be taking over. So if you see now what AI is doing, then the question is, what is the potential solution to AI threat? And for you to understand the extent of this solution, I want you to understand there is a movie that I would like you to watch. It's called Ex Machina. So in Ex Machina, in this movie here, the engineer, the creator of the humanoid robot that is in this movie here, at the end of this movie, the humanoid robot actually, with the consciousness that had developed over time, became independent of the master and murdered the master. It's a very interesting scenario. So then now this reminds us of what Alan had said in the beginning, that at default, AI is to take over. If the question is, the takeover has started with our jobs and so many other things, what is the next takeover, which can be beyond the job, which can actually cost human life? So there are very many suggestions and solutions, but there's one solution which has actually been, people have come up with a solution, and it's like, if you cannot defeat your enemy, you merge with your enemy, become one with your enemy. And that is the invention of Neuralink by Elon Musk and the team. So if you see Neuralink here, the biggest purpose of Neuralink is to help human merge with AI. That meaning the efficiency and the effectiveness that is achieved with AI, when you implant a chip in a human brain, the brain can actually be able to cope up with some of those things and do that. So there are majorly two purposes to Neuralink. One of them is meeting medical needs, the generalized medical needs. And these include, when you have a problem with your spinal cord and you cannot walk, talk. So the brain chip that is in Neuralink does that. Spinal cord restoration, things to do with blind side, memory restoration, vision, even telepathic communication. So once that is done, then you ask yourself, what is the next big thing about Neuralink? And that is to unlock the human potentials that are in the mind. So these are the potential here that are the ones that will actually help us to be able to achieve singularity and fight, and then be able to fight the threats of AI. So AI is not only a threat, but there is a solution for it. And the solution is there, merging with it. So merging with it, of course, can go beyond your social setting, beliefs, and religious beliefs. But what other solution do you have? Okay, so as we think about AI and wait for our trades here on gold, I want us to deeply think about AI. And let's just wait and see how this trade will play out.